Right, thanks, Vimana. I actually owe my appearance here to Vimana. That's how I found out about Picha Pucha. Good guy. So anyway, here, as you can see, my name is Saif, and I study automotive design. I've had a lifelong passion for automobiles. This is one of my thesis projects, which I can't really disclose right now. Not that you would care, though. But yeah. So anyway, I'm basically here to talk about India and automobile. So now you might be asking yourself, what is automotive design? What do you mean by being an automotive designer? Basically, what we do is we create products. So let's say that you have a need for a need of transportation. It's like any other product, you like lamp or hair dryer or whatever. But what we do is any car you see on the road today, there are a group of dedicated men and women who sit down and debate and figure it all out. Now, in order to create a good product, we also have to understand the customer who is eventually going to buy it. So that person could be a family man, could be a student, could even be an assassin for it now. And assassins are very tough customers. So, also because of the sheer vast number of automobiles and the global scale of the auto industry, it's also important for us to understand the prevalent culture of the market we're trying to penetrate. So it could be in Germany, it could be in Thailand, it could be anywhere. We also have to understand what are they, as a culture, what they're looking for in an automobile. That also actually helps the design process. Which leads us to the main point of this talk. What is India's relationship with automobile? Is there any relationship? Is there something unique? That's what I'm going to talk to you about today. Eventually. Okay. So let's just start off with a quiz. Okay. On the left you have a Maruti WagonR, and on the right you have a Chevrolet Beat. Both cars are the same size, roughly the same cost, same efficiency. So, quick question: which of these cars do you think sells more? WagonR. You're right. But look at the gap. 15,000 cars to just 3,000 beats. Now, I'm not an MBA student, but that's fail. Okay, that is bad. If I was a Chevy executive, I'd shoot myself. Now, I've already pointed out these two cars are similar. So what's going on here? Actually, they're not. Have a close look. Look at some of the surfacing on the side. Have a look at the headlights. Have a look at some of the details. You can see that there's something going on. In fact, you could even argue that they have a sort of visual character. I mean, so basically, as a designer, when you look at an automobile, you usually use keywords to describe it. So the Beat is more masculine, more sporty, and the WagonR is more established, conservative. Now, I'm going to reason as to why the WagonR is winning over the Beat later on. But suffice to say that this is the importance of design. This is how much of a difference it can make. Let's start off with another example, this time with the Chevrolet Cruze and the Honda Civic. Going by the previous slide, it should be quite obvious that the Civic is going to win out. Obviously, it shares the same design characteristics as the WagonR, and the Cruze shares similar characteristics to the Beat. But the issue is reversed now. Now you have the Cruze, which is winning out. Now the margin is not as big, but it's still significant enough to say that the Cruze is winning. So what's happened here? Basically, when you buy a car, any car, you have a certain list of priorities. Okay, you want something from the car. When you buy a WagonR, your idea is basically you want value. You're not really concerned with the car being desirable. You want it to be a value for money proposition. If you're buying a Cruze, you're not really concerned about value. It has horrible fuel economy and it costs a bomb. But you like it because it's desirable, because it looks cool. And this is a direct correlation with the actual values of the customers who buy these cars. If you're middle class, financially conservative, and socially conservative, you're not going to want a Beat. A Beat looks like a transformer. It is actually a transformer if you watch the movie. You want a WagonR, you want something that's easy on the eyes. And the opposite is true if you're affluent. Have a look at this. This is BMW has sold 901 cars to Mercedes-Benz 710. So what you may say? Well, Mercedes-Benz has been in India for 50 years. It's the most established luxury brand in India. But BMW has beat them out in just 5 years. That is how much people want to express themselves. So two basic points we've come up so far. First is cars an expression of status. They have a very clear indication of where you stand in the socio-economic food chain. But there's another point. Cars also express personality, and I don't just mean the car itself. I also mean the person who eventually buys the car. How many of you have seen the SX4 ads? Right? What's the point? Now that's a man. Okay? You're an alpha male. Alright? You're strong, you're virile, whatever. But you see, Scorpio has something to say about that. He's been making cars feel inadequate since yesterday. So even more of a man if you buy Scorpio. Oh, I'm sorry. I was coming to the counterproductive. So where does this expression come from? Basically, we use cars to express ourselves. And if you think about it, it really is a no-brainer because expression is the axis on which our entire culture rotates. You know, it's our food, dance, language, festivals. We all have to express ourselves. Why do you think they call it Big Indian Wedding? Because you love to show people who we are. And how many of us have done this? First thing you take when you buy a car, you take it to a temple. Okay, it's not. So we assimilated the car into our culture. It's now part of our religion. Normally, most people don't do that. I can only tell you, probably in Asia they do it, but globally, we are the ones who do it. And it's physically changed India too. All these infrastructure projects, even the outer ring road in Hyderabad, would simply not have been possible if our love for automobiles had not reached to an extent where Hyderabad was being clocked at 7 p.m. every night. So this is the effect that automobile has. I'd like to end with this quote that I found off the internet. I honestly don't know who it says, but it's absolutely right.